The town consists of an inn and a few shops, the bare essentials. They probably only ever see travelers like us, people passing through on their way to Illumia. There we go, fuck. But if that's true, then no one would stay here and there wouldn't be houses, so your logic is flawed.
Okay, we should stock up on supplies.
I'll be making a stop at the weaponsmith.
Good, I can put your fucking face in the forge. Zack passed the 2 holstered dischargers on the side. Now that I think about it, I only saw him use one during the bandit ambush. The other one must have already been damaged.
I'll check out the shop since my weapons are okay on repairs.
I'll go with you. Leanna smiles. Zack nods.
See you soon then.
Hopefully not too soon, dick. He turns down another path.
Let's go.
Oh, I almost read her line. Leanna smiles back at me and she leads the way to the shop. Wait up. We find the general store with ease, and the marketplace itself is quite small. In fact, I'm surprised how busy the store is. I guess if you're the only general store around, business is bound to be good. As Leanna picks out a couple items, I look around the shop. I notice people of all backgrounds wearing clothes ranging from leather that I've seen in Meadow Hill to intricately embroidered robes. I guess they really do get travelers of all types through here. Once Leanna is finished, I follow her to the counter to pay for the items.
Will that be all for today?
Will that be all for today? Leanna nods.
Your total comes to 34 coins.
I'm sad that they don't use gold. Leanna's eyes widen.
34 coins for these? It should be at most 30.
The shopkeeper frowns apologetically. He doesn't seem to be too happy about the prices either.
I'm sorry, miss. The goods themselves are only 20 coins. The rest of the cost is the 70% tax.
Why is tax so fucking high? Jesus Christ. Yeah, and I thought well, actually, taxes in most European countries are pretty bad as well, but I hope you at least get free universal health insurance and education with those taxes. Both Leanna and the shopkeeper look at me in confusion. Leanna furrows her brow.
I don't remember the tax being so high in the past.
You know, something doesn't seem right here.
The mayor only recently increased the tax.
It still seems fishy.
Has no one asked why? It doesn't seem fair.
Probably needs a bigger house. The man nods.
We did in the beginning, but then the mayor hired enforcers of the new law.
Leanna frowns but doesn't say anything more. The shopkeeper continues to look apologetically as she gestures at her items.
I'm really sorry about this, miss, but I don't have any other choice.
I understand. It's not your fault.
She hands over the coins.
Thank you for understanding. Safe travels.
Something still seems fishy about this. As we head out, Leanna seems quieter than usual. Are you alright?
Something about this just doesn't seem right. New tax rules and new guards to enforce them? I came through here only a few days ago on my way to Meadow Hill, and the tax hadn't been changed then. It all seems too sudden.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I think we got scammed. I doubt the tax is really 70%. That was probably a pity story you used to extort money from us. Leanna looks unsure.
I don't know about that.
You are too trusting of people, then.
Anyway, let's go meet up with Zack.
I nod. We make our way to the lane of the armory and smithy, and peek in through a few shop windows before we spot Zack. A guard looms over him. Uh-oh. This doesn't look promising, but it also doesn't seem like it's our problem. Leanna frowns as we enter the shop.
This doesn't concern you. Stay out of it.
It became my concern when you threatened him in front of me.
Wow, he just became super edgy.
Threatened? All I told him was what may happen to his store if he doesn't pay up for these protective services.
That's extortion.
Leave. Now.
The guard laughs.
What makes you think I'd listen to you?
Zach glares at the guard and he flips open his coat and reveals his discharger. He grips the second discharger on the table. The color drains from the guard's face. Well, I guess the trench coat does increase his intimidation skill. And plus the disfigurement on his eye. So I guess that helps.
2 dischargers with purple spheres and a black trench coat.
He could only be the legendary ultra edgy teenager.
It can't be.
Zach shifts slightly, increasing the ferocity in his eyes. The guard tries to hide his fear with false bravado. He then turns towards the shopkeeper.
You're lucky your friend was here today. He won't always be here, though.
After imparting one last subtle threat, the guard hurries out of the shop, brushing past Leanna and I. Zach relaxes and the shopkeeper sighs in relief.
Thank you.
That have to do with this new tax you mentioned?
The shopkeeper nods.
The taxes just keep growing. I've tried to keep my prices as low as possible for the customers, but then our taxes grow and, well, you saw what happens next.
His fingers tremble as he takes back the discharger. I think he's still shaken up about what happened.
I'm sorry. I still need a few more minutes to finish up the repairs. It would have been done by now if we hadn't been interrupted.
That seems to make sense. Zach nods. The weaponsmith gives him a grateful smile and he returns to his work. Tax issues again?
It looks like it's affecting all of the stores. And it's only going to get worse.
Well, if we don't travel through here all the time, it's not really our concern.
I'm not going to let it escalate.
Ann and I glance at Zach in surprise.
You two head to the inn. I have something to take care of first.
What, an assassination attempt?
What are you planning to do?
I'm going to pay a visit to the mayor.
Ooh. Edgy. Actually, now that I think about it, the mayor's got all this coin. There's no way that he's doing this just 'cause. But at the same time, I really want to stay quiet. But we gotta make fun of him. A gun for hire working for free? For a second, a shadow of regret crosses his face so quickly, I wonder if I actually saw it. It's soon replaced with his usual blank stare.
I'm sure a sizable reward will be offered by the shopkeepers for lowering their taxes.
Knew he wasn't doing it for free. Now I know he's just acting tough. Even if the shopkeepers did want to give him a reward, I doubt they have money for it right now. Leanna frowns.
As much as I disagree with your reasoning, I also want to get to the bottom of this.
I'm in too. The shopkeeper returns and places Zach's discharger on the counter.
All fixed.
Thanks. Here.
Zach offers coins to the vendor who shakes his head.
Please, don't worry about it. You've already done me a huge favor by helping me with the guard.
Zach holsters his discharger and places the coin on the counter anyway.
I insist.
The shopkeeper looks conflicted, then sighs and nods gratefully. Zach leads the way out of the shop and through the town. His footsteps are long and full of purpose, which is a change from his quiet, cautious demeanor. I can't help but look at him with a newfound respect. I mean, respect, that's a strong word to use. This is the first time I've seen him so determined and driven. Soon we arrive in the front of a large, elaborate mansion. Looks very out of place compared to the modest shops of the rest of the town. 2 men guard the entrance. Zach pauses and sizes up the guards. I mean, they're both really good rogue things. I mean, talking your way in and using the element of surprise is pretty damn good. I gotta say sneak attack. I doubt they'll just let us waltz in to see the mayor. Zach nods and readies his discharger.
Agreed.
What are you guys planning?
Don't worry about it. We'll knock him out and make our way in. Zach blinks and fiddles with his discharger.
Right. Just knock them out.
Yeah, knock him out. Leanna looks at Zach.
I don't agree with this decision. We don't know for sure these guards are bad.
They're hired thugs. But actually, with Leanna, we could have probably just walked up to the front gate. She could have shown her thing on her glove and we walked in. But this is more fun. You know what? Zach and I will take care of it. Okay, then stay back and let us handle it.
Wait!
I walk over to the guards.
Halt! What is your business?
A bolt of energy knocks him back against the door and he crumples to the ground. Before the other guard can react, I strike him square in the chest with the hilt of my blade. He gasps as the wind is knocked out of him and he keels over.
Good work.
I nod. Leanna rushes forward and checks them for a pulse. After a moment, she sighs in relief and whirls on us.
You do realize you just assaulted official guards, right?
I mean, who cares?
It wouldn't be the first time.
They're not dead. Leanna's glare is cut short by the glow of her manipulator. It pulses similarly when she originally scanned me for magic.
What the?
She hovers her hand over the manipulator and looks inside the building.
You guys coming?
Zach is already on his way in. Leanna looks annoyed but follows, checking her manipulator. We didn't even hide the bodies? What the fuck? She may not be happy with us, but she seems more concerned about her manipulator's random magic sensing. Zach leads the way again. We follow behind as Leanna fiddles with her manipulator. Yep, that's about what I was expecting. As we progress through the mansion, we passed unnoticed by the clerks and guards milling about. They must assume that we have a reason to be here if we got through the front door. Leanna stares intently at her manipulator, her brow furrows in confusion.
This doesn't make any sense.
Would you quit fiddling with that thing or tell us what the hell's going on with it already? One of the two? What is it?
The readings, they're so erratic. It's almost like but there can't be.
Spit it out already. There's what?
Shadow magic.
Ooh, that sounds edgy. Zach looked sharply at Leanna.
Shadow magic.
She reluctantly nods. Zach sets his jaw and tightens his grip on his dischargers. So, shadow magic. Someone mind telling me what that is?
It's forbidden magic.
Oh, it can't be that bad. She is entirely focused on her manipulator.
It's coming from...
She jogs down the hallway and stops in front of mahogany double doors. Ooh, mahogany doors! Mahogany doors. Mahogany doors.
behind there.
Suddenly, a voice calls out from behind us.
It's you!
Shit. Standing down at the hall is the same guard from the shop. Fuck.
How did you get in here? Intruders!
Fuck! All eyes fall on us as they begin yelling. The guards who previously ignored us now draw their weapons as they close in. Zach pulls out his dischargers.
You go deal with whatever that is. I'll keep them busy here.
Zach kicks down one of the tables and drops behind it for cover.
Go! Now!
As he raises his gun, purple energy swirls to life. He rains a hail of energy bolts down the hall in a suppressive fire. Leanna bursts through the doors and I stay at her heels. The noise from the battle gradually fades away as we run deeper into the mansion. Eventually, the hall leads into a study. A carved wooden desk, laden with books and ledgers, is in the center with bookcases surrounding it. A man wearing a hooded robe sits at the desk. He scribbles something with one hand while the other hand is hidden within his robe. An older man sits on the other side of the desk, His graying hair sticking out in strange angles and embroidered clothing are highly askew. He stares at an open ledger on the desk, as if they aren't really seeing it. Two guards stand at the doorway, still as statues with those same dull eyes. The treasurer rises to his feet.
Who let these two in? I explicitly said no visitors.
Leanna's manipulator pulses wildly, especially when she raises her arm towards him.
It's him! He's the source of the shadow magic!
You say that in such a terrified tone, but I'm not terrified in the slightest. Neither the mayor nor the guards react.
How dare you make such accusations! Arrest her immediately!
The guards ready their weapons. Stop! We aren't here to fight you!
It's no use! He's influencing them with shadow magic!
A gust of wind gathers around Leanna, violently whipping her hair and clothes. It concentrates in her gauntlet's palm and she hurls it at them. The wind knocks the guards against the wall and blows open the robe of the treasurer, exposing his hidden hand. With his palm is a dark crystal sphere. It looks like a marble of darkness and swirling smoke. From within the crystal are shadowy tendrils which extend to the mayor and to the unconscious guards. Leanna's voice is flat when she speaks. I've never heard her sound so serious before.
A tainted spear, and the branding of void.
You have seen too much.
And now you must die. The treasurer raises the black sphere high and the shadowy energy shoots towards Leanna. She raises her hand and creates another ball of wind, which she fires at the shadowy bolt. The shadow ball cuts through Leanna's magic like a knife through butter, and her wind scatters harmlessly into the room. Push her out of the way. Leanna! I dash towards her and knock her out of the way. I take the full blunt of the shadowy blast and I'm flung back against the wall. Agony sears my body. I grit through the pain and look at Leanna. It doesn't look like any of the magic hit her. She rushes over, her face a mix of bewilderment and concern. This is painful as fuck. My body feels like it's being eaten out from the inside. And not in the good way, if you know what I mean. If it's alright with you, I think we're gonna lay down for a bit. Leanna furrows her brow in concern. Can you go deal with him so my suffering is not in vain? Please and thanks. Leanna unsheathes her blade. A determined fire in her eyes, she faces the treasurer and raises her sword. Nice. Her manipulator glows with power which flows into her blade, encasing it in a similar glow. Magic particles swirl around as static sparks of energy lash out from her weapon. In an instant, she dashes towards his treasurer at inhuman speed. He fires two shadow bolts, but Leanna uses her blade to cut through the air and shoots off two slices of energy which cut through the shadow magic.
What?
Yeah!
I'm sorry. Leanna lunges and charges her blade towards the treasurer. Just before her sword would pierce him, the treasurer throws his tainted sphere on the ground. It shatters and the shadowy mist leaks out from the orb, enclosing the room in a dark fog. The thick fog clouds my vision so I can't see anything. As it slowly begins to fade, I make out Leanna watching her surroundings, but the treasure is nowhere to be seen. When she doesn't see her enemy, the glow from her sword fades away.
Oh.
The mayor lets out a throaty groan and rubs his head, his eyes now looking groggy, like somebody who's just woken up.
What is...
Leanna sheathes her blade.
Take it easy. You were under the effects of shadow magic.
shadow magic?
He shakes his head as to free his thoughts, but he must be trying to shake off the lingering effects of the magic.
Is it finally over?
Leanna nods. The mayor takes a few more minutes to compose himself. When his eyes seem more focused, he sighs in relief.
You have my thanks.
But not my money. Leave. Suddenly the door barges open as Zach races in. Behind him a wave of guards.
Stop him!
He's with us!
The mayor stands unsteadily onto his feet and addresses the guards.
Leave them be! But I said leave them be!
They hesitate and shoot focused glances at each other, but ultimately they follow the orders and lower their weapons.
Took you guys long enough.
And says you shut the fuck up. He looks at me.
What are you doing down there?
Fuck you. Wait a minute, I just realized. There would have been the perfect chance to have her cast magic missile in the darkness right there. I guess she did say it was impossible, but that would have been the perfect thing to do. I groan as I rotate onto my back. Anna offers me her hand, which I accept.
He took a shadow blast. Aimed for me.
Zach blinks in surprise, but looks impressed.
Seems like you ended up being useful after all.
Eat a dick. Eat so many dicks. Thanks. Leona checks her manipulator, but it remains still.
The shadow magic is gone.
The mayor seems much more alert.
It was my treasurer, wasn't it?
Leona nods. He sighs heavily but sits down in his chair.
When he first arrived into town, I thought he would be like all the other travelers and go on his way. But he said he knew how to make this town even greater than what it is now. He had ideas on how we could become more than just a wayward stop. The first step was to increase taxes to build up our treasury.
He hangs his head in his hands.
All I wanted was to help the people here have better lives, but all I've done is cause them suffering.
Well, now you can actually use that money that you've collected at this point, assuming it's still there, to do that. Just drop down the taxes.
You weren't in control of yourself.
But it was me who made all the rulings and enforced those tax laws.
But now you can right the wrong. Lana shakes her head.
It wasn't you. That man had a tainted sphere, and he was using it to influence you.
The mayor leans back. He looks tired, as if a huge weight has been dropped on him.
I don't deserve to continue as mayor of this town.
One of the guards steps forward.
That's not true.
I look over at the voice and recognize him as the guard of the formerly controlled by shadow magic.
I know what it's like when he used that magic. All I could think about was how I could become an honor guard. The thought was overwhelming and I'd do anything to achieve it. I know that wasn't the real you, Mayor.
The other formerly controlled guard steps forward and nods.
Me too. Little Garrett still plays with the toy sword you gave him for his birthday. Says he's practicing for when he joins the guard too.
The other guards in the room murmur their assent.
There's nobody who can run this town better than you.
The mayor glances at the hopeful faces of his guards. In this small town, I can believe that he knows each of them by name. Well, probably. That's how most small towns are. Fucking hate it. Finally, he gives them a weak smile.
I suppose somebody needs to clean up this mess.
He gets back onto his feet and turns to us.
I don't know how to thank you for what you've done for us.
Pay us, bitches! Leanna smiles warmly.
I'm glad we were able to help.
But, you know, we could totally use a couple bags of coins if, you know, just, you know, a few hundred coins would be nice. Zach and I nod.
You must be exhausted. Please, feel free to stay at Raven Pass for as long as you like. You are always welcome here.
Thank you.
The three of us leave the mayor to his business and head out of the mansion. Without getting some money? Are you shitting me? Once outside, I glance at the darkening sky. Leona mirrors my movements.
We should rest up for the night.
It's on the mayor, right?
Agreed.
Then bring out the best ale, the best food, and give us the best rooms. I nod.
I saw the inn back towards the shops.
Zach leads the way. After turning down a side street, we see a lighted sign for the Hogshead Inn. I stifle a yawn as we head inside. That is a D&D inn name if I have ever heard one.